So for those on the A&P committee, we would love for you to share something about, and in some way demystify the process for our audience. We can all remember when we were new here and junior faculty and how scary the whole process was and how it seemed like a black box. So I turn it over to you guys.
So to demystify, you're at an institution that wants you to be promoted. And so that's the good news. Unlike some institutions that seem to erect barriers, overall, I have to say, this institution really wants to see you move forward. So you're off to a good start. For the clinician educators, for all groups, it's really formulaic, to be honest with you. So to make something more complex than it is a disservice. You need get involved on a committee. You need to write a paper a year. You need to, a committee at the hospital, a committee regionally, nationally. You write a paper a year. You talk to your friends and have them invite you to give a lecture. It's really not so difficult. You're going to visit your parents in San Antonio, call the institution in San Antonio and say, I'm in town, can I give grand rounds? And I'm not joking in the sense that
all the time.
We'll many times look at a CV and there is no presence outside the area, and that's a non-starter for promotion. So you just do the formula, 1 to 2 publications. I see I pushed it a little bit, and it was 1 now, 1 to 2 publications, but there's no fixed number of publications that you have to do. 1 hospital committee, 1 national committee, 1 to 2 grand rounds a year, 5 years, you're promoted on the clinician educator track. And if you really want to make it a slam dunk, you join the Mount Sinai Institute for Medical Education. It's designed to promote you as an educator. It's hard for me to justify a clinician educator at Mount Sinai not being part of the IME, because we created specifically to promote career-wise our educators. So it's nonsensical to me. All of that, 5 years, you'll be giving a party for promotion.
I'd just like to add one thing to that, which is that we have heard several times about writing. And we do consider things other than just sort of the classical paper in the New England Journal. Other kinds of publications are important as well, or considered equally. And I think we actually recently had a whole discussion about publications that are not, that actually don't appear in print, but are just online publications. And I think increasingly they will be playing an important role in the way in which we disseminate information. And really what we're looking at is, in fact, that, both on the clinician educator track and on the investigator track. When you have something to say, do you share it with people, and how do people react to that? So there are metrics for the, how valuable various journals are, how widely cited you are, that sort of thing. But it's not just the classic written paper, but all kinds of publications and course material and so on.
Yeah, the only thing I would add to that is that the process will probably take longer than you think it should. And when I have young faculty that I'm mentoring who have started the process, which is that they have spoken to the chair and who has agreed that they're ready to go up for promotion. And I think some of them think, you know, within 6 weeks they'll be getting the letter that it happened. And so there are many, many steps to the process. And like most of the other processes here at Mount Sinai, there's the opportunity for delay at every step along the way. I know certainly those who do research know what I'm talking about. And so don't assume that something's gone wrong because it doesn't happen immediately. Once your chair says, yes, you're ready, then he's or she is going to ask you for your CV. And I'm sure, Andy, you could tell stories. It's like, you know, 7 months later, you're still waiting for the faculty to like send you the CV in the Mount Sinai format. And then once you've done your part, then the chair has to write their nomination letter, and that goes in. And then there has to be a list of references who, Kathy is going to reach out to, soliciting letters on your behalf. You have to wait for all of those people to actually write the letters and get them in. So this takes usually months and months, and it doesn't mean that anything has been derailed or that somehow it's gone wrong or that you weren't really ready. So try to be realistic about it. It certainly is different. Some departments have a formal committee review within the department before it goes outside the department. So make sure you understand what the process is in your department and sort of allow several months for each step. I think keeping your CV up to date and doing your part is really important. And when you give the list of people as references, you should, contact them and make sure they're willing to write you a letter and that they're going to respond and, encourage them, to do so in a timely fashion. This is a lot of time, I think, especially in a small specialty like emergency medicine. We have relatively few senior faculty. I probably get 4 or 5 requests a month of people who want me to write promotion letters for them. And it's not that I don't want to be helpful, but it's easy for these things to fall off my radar screen. So you kind of have to be proactive to make sure that everything is moving along. But it shouldn't feel like a black box, but it is kind of a lengthy process. Although I agree with Andy, it's formulaic and it should be like 1, 2, 3, but it's more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 88, 89, 99, 100, There's lots of steps.